And good morning, people. Welcome back to Suikoden 4. After a little away day from the final area on our last part, where I showed things I forgot, but we are now back at the top of the Hill Fort. After going up all them very long stairs, we've come to a save point and this door. Let's not waste any time. Let's go in, shall we? See what's behind it.
So, you've returned, O rune of punishment. The rune's memories. Among them, did you see a child?
We did. He said he wanted some bread, but how do you know about that?
Bread? Huh. Wonderful! I too would like to hold the rune of punishment once more and play with those sweet memories. Long ago, that rune chose us. It didn't choose you. This country must grow stronger. The islands, your lives, you exist only to fulfill our destiny, as does the rune. When it comes to a battle of wills, I have no doubt that mine shall prevail against yours.
So say hello to the last enemy of the game. And yes, Cray is a previous holder of the Rune of Punishment. Why he lost it, how he lost it, I can't actually tell you. I believe it has something to do with his left hand. I believe it might have been there and he cut it off for some reason. But now he wants it back, and his battle wills against ours is a battle against the giant tree and 2 seeds of life. These 2 seeds of life are very different to the ones we fought on the way up. They have more health, but they do essentially the same thing. The giant tree, however, is a whole different story. It's brown at the moment. Remember that. As for what I'm doing, well, the Rune of Punishment has a new thing which I haven't actually shown anyone yet. Because I got all 108 characters, it has a different ability now. Well, it's not different, but it's changed. Giant tree. Final flame. I need to get rid of these seeds of life. No, I don't want that. strike rune, and you can do. I think you can just attack one of the seeds of life. So 102 on the thing. That's not too bad. But rune of punishment. Where's the backlash? Oh, and the tree's gimmick. It attacks all enemies. Usually. But it's now changing colour. The tree changes colour every round until it's white, and then it goes back into the cycle. When it's white, defend is my suggestion, if you can. Try to make sure you are full health. Rune of Punishment though is not very good against this enemy. Although it has no I have no backlash now, the Everlasting Mercy is okay. I'd actually do more damage with a physical attack than I do with my rune at this moment in time. Actually, I'm going to do that. The Seeds of Life have around about 2,500 health, but I do want to get rid of them. And I want to make sure I can try and keep myself at full health. As much as possible, at least. There's this other attack. It usually attacks all enemies, but with a breath attack. But it does have a single attack, which isn't really that threatening. Right, one more explosion should kill them out. Let's do the shredding though, just to make sure. And continue with the strike rune. You don't need to actually do any healing this turn, so yeah, giant tree, and it's currently light blue. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, they're mostly gone. This shredding should finish it off. Yep, there it goes. They do respawn. Remember that they do respawn. The Great Tree does revive them. But for now, I don't have to worry too much in the way of healing, because the light things do heal the boss. They do damage to you. They do physical attacks. Healing Wind on Kate, she's the only one injured. Ah, there he goes, and it's just revived one with 1600 health. So I need to get rid of that, if possible. Well, there's 500 gone. Seed of Light. You are going to use a mushroom on yourself. You are actually going to hit that, and it's browning it at the moment. so it's likely to do a breath attack, I believe. Seed of Life. I need to get that out. There we go, that's good. Yep, there's the breath attack. Ah, it's white. Actually, let's rush it. I've got it available. Get a few little free damage in before. Oh, and that even moved it across from its phase. What it does in its white phase is it produces a very large damaging ray that I believe does around about 300 to 400 damage. My characters would very if I didn't defend, might have a bit of trouble surviving it. Green, though, I think I want to defend as well. Does in its green phase use a breath that sleeps everyone in the party, and if it then turns white, it basically has a free damaging attack, which then might proceed to finish off your party. Strangely enough, he's been fairly tame. He can do terrible, terrible things to you. But this boss is not hard if you know what you're doing. Let's explosion it. Continue with the strike rune, and I don't really need to heal, do I? Blue phase brings one back. Yeah. Each phase tends to do a set thing. Brown is fire attack, green is a sleep breath attack, blue is revive, white is big attack, but they can all do the single attack, which makes it a lot easier to deal with. Don't need to heal again, so continue on. And there's the other one. Okay, so I'm good for my healing still, so you can attack the other Seed of Light. This blazing rune, blazing wall there. That, and you don't really need to heal. You haven't had to heal too much. Yeah, that's not too bad. So down to the boss. Oh, it's only getting dark purple. not sure what that one is. I haven't really seen that one too much. Oh, electric attack. Yeah. Which actually isn't... Oh, it's poisoned everyone. To be honest, don't really mind that, because, well, simply put, I have the flowing moon, and it's white, so if I don't kill it in this, you will get to see its big attack, but looks like I killed it. Yeah, the boss is not hard, in the slightest. As long as you keep up the damage, it's not hard. I believe it has around about 25,000 health, something like that. Maybe up to 30,000. Maybe not even that much. It's, yeah. In terms of final bosses, the Great Tree ranks among one of the most pathetic, in my opinion. But anyway, back to Cray.
So you will not accept me, Rune of Punishment. You were once cut off from this body. Now, you do not wish to return to it again?
It's dangerous here! Hurry up and run if you don't want to die!
And running is what we do. There is no time limit. Don't think you have to rush out of here. You don't. All you need to do is just get to the entrance. There are still fights here. You can still gain experience. Why these people aren't running as well, I have no idea. But let's just slash them and move on. But over here is the exit. There's nothing for us in this place. All we need to do is just leave. And they're still not running. So here we are outside. We have got pretty much nothing out here that will hurt us. All we need to do is just get back to that boat that Eleanor came in on the first... with the first group. And speaking of Eleanor, is she still inside? I think we've left her behind, haven't we? That's a problem. Well, can't go back for her now. We've got our own problems. Yeah, we've been forgetting someone. And he's right there. For one last duel. Troy.
You cannot see my intentions. Come at me.
Basically, Troy is our final boss. This is the last thing we have to do in the entire game.
I'll settle this with the next move. Yield to my sword.
And again.
Here I go. Duels
aren't exactly threatening.
Here I go.
Oh well, just finish it off.
I'll settle this with the next move.
Really? You on 0 health and... Okay, well, let's guard this. And that is the end of Troy.
Are you okay?
But not quite. He is very tough. But he has his pride. This matter has been settled, though.
Yes, it has. I remained true to myself until the end. I remained a warrior. You have my gratitude.
That your clamoring stops. By your leave, Captain.
I suppose it can't be helped.
Damn that idiot. Wasting his precious life.
So, it's over. What now?
I've got a question for you still.
What if I didn't answer? I have a good idea what it is you wish to ask me, but I will not respond. I leave you to speculate, forever without answers. I can think of nothing that will harm you more. Humans are the fools of this world. And being a human, you are no exception. And neither am I.
Good grief. Is that the best conclusion you could draw? Looks like I'm going to have to train you all over again from scratch.
is getting louder. But Lady Eleanor is still...
Oh yeah, that place was full of rune ammunition, wasn't it? That's a problem.
It's gonna take us out!
And of course, the true rune of punishment will be our guide away from here. Like it has guided us throughout this journey. It's this completion. And once more, we are in this dark area. Who do we meet at the end of this though? Haven't we seen all the bearers of the rune before us? No, we haven't actually. There's one more. Lino's wife, the Queen of Obel. Time for forgiveness.
That's strange. The clothes aren't here.
Don't worry about it. The way I'm dressed now suits me just fine.
It's truly a beautiful day. So good to see you.
Here he comes! On my honor as the King of Obel, I, Lino and Kuldus, declare the restoration of the Kingdom of Obel. This conflict, though tragic, has presented us an opportunity to think about the islands and their citizens. I would like to take this chance now to propose the establishment of an Island Nations Federation. What say you? I hereby declare the founding of the Island Nations Federation.
And with that is the end of Suikoden 4. The earliest in the timeline for the series. If we go to the game itself though, just by watching you could probably see a few things that made it fairly good. Like I said, this isn't the weakest of the Suikodens, but it is the most it's one of the ones that hasn't really taken off because there's a lot wrong with it. The graphics on the game are brilliant. Even now, in this day and age, they do hold up fairly well. The characters are well shown. You can definitely see the differences between them. The transition to 3D, or whatever, from the old 2D, maybe top-down, that they had from Suikoden 2, really increased the game's quality in that respect, and it's probably probably the best thing that they did. Movement around the areas outside of being on the sea, fairly smooth. You get the feeling of going around a town, although there's not a lot to interact with. You get the feeling of going around yourself, with being behind the character. Sea travel though, that can go out to sea, stay there, and not come back, because that is simply the worst thing, in my opinion, about this game. Yes, you can mitigate it with Vicky. Still still the best thing about this game, actually, the travel through the mirror to places you've already been. But you couldn't use it all the time, especially not at the start. And the game's pace slowed down dramatically. It picked up again once I got Vicky, but even the times when I had to just travel there and somewhere myself, it just felt really slow, and battles were frequent on the sea. So yeah, it made the travel between areas a bit more tedious than it should have been. Battles themselves, overall, the system takes a very big leap away from what you would normally play in any other Suikoden game, with there being just 4 characters, being in a line with no ranking system. But for what they did with it, it kind of worked. There's not that much customization, unfortunately, outside of what runes you put where, what armor you put on people. Having 4 people only reduces the options even more. But it was simple. The combat system in this game is very simple, very easy to learn, if you just wanted to pick up a game for its combat system, you can do a lot worse, and just wanted to do fights, you can do a lot worse in this game, because you can easily get into the fights. Yes, in the end, the combat is very simple. There's not really that much danger that you will be in. I don't think I had much trouble with any of the fights, any of the boss fights. The only times I really did was when I went into areas where were a little bit too high a level for me, or I needed to do a little bit of work really sitting in there comfortably. The ruins in Obel for 1 and 2. Ilia, when I went there, is another good example. You don't actually need to go to Ilia at all. If you don't want to collect every single character, you don't need to head there at all. It's just an optional area, you could say. Story-wise, the story is mediocre. It's very easy to miss a lot because there's a lot of things left out. Like the big enemy of the game, Cray. You don't learn a lot about him. The main character, you don't learn a lot about him. Heck, you learn more about Lino and Calders than you do about the main character. And yeah, you don't feel like you're following on with someone with the story. You're just seeing snippets. Yes, you're the big leader of this fleet, but you just seem to have been thrown into it because you've got a true rune. That's it. There's no explanation of why you're there. Because what are you at the start? A Knight of Razra? And then you're cast out to sea. There's not a lot to go on to make you this grand leader. Time-wise for this game, it's spread out fairly okay. If you want to just go through the game without doing any side things, you could probably do it in under 15 hours, maybe under 10. To do everything, there's a lot of things which are optional, which make flesh the game out. Which also provides why the story is mediocre. You don't get a lot of time on it, and in that time you don't get a lot for that time. Character development you don't see a lot of in the entire game. Probably the best example of character development in this game is Snow, going from this confident Knight of Razriel to what he is at the end. No one else really makes that much of a change. Does anyone actually change in this game with character development, apart from that? I can't think of any off the top of my head. What other things? Making money, fairly easy. You've got the choice of trading, going into the place at the ruins of Obel at the end, leveling up your characters. The level system on Suikoden has always been one of the high points. It doesn't take much to level your characters up, and with the diminishing returns on an enemy, you don't feel the need to stay in one place for too long. If you're leveling up every character, like I said a little while ago in previous parts, I had everyone up to level 50 within 5 hours. That's roughly around about 60 fighting characters, and many of them were below level 20, and that was just within a few fights. I only had to do 3 or 4 fights in the ruins of Obel just to get them up to level 50. Sometimes it took a few more, but it doesn't take long to get your characters up to fighting condition. With with their weapons and armour, that takes a bit longer because you need the money. But level wise it's fairly good. And fairly easy. Can't think of too much more. Oh, let's go with this, which is good because we're coming up to the end of the credits. But there was one person missing from the end sequence with Lino pronouncing the island nation's federation, wasn't there? I think we need to find out what's going on with him. Where was he anyway? Oh yeah, the music on this game. Yeah. Although it's not the best of the series, I believe that is reserved for one of the earlier ones. It holds up. To be honest, I don't even remember the music of any of the others, so yeah. But this one I believe is middle of the bunch for the composition of the music, which is fairly okay. But yeah, this is the not the weakest, but the one that brought the downhill trend for the Suikoden series because of the changes that were in place weren't seen as good by the loyal viewers, and Suikoden is a big series. This is one of the biggest known series in the world in terms of Japanese RPGs. There's a little boat. This boat has some significance. There at the end. Not that boat, no, but a little boat for what was basically a game on the sea. So that was Suikoden 4. Now, where was the main character? Oh, there's that little boat I was talking about. And there he is. We used the Rune of Punishment again, didn't we? At the very end. However, we picked up all 108 Stars of Destiny. The time for forgiveness. is now. If you have not picked up all 108 Stars of Destiny, you will not see this little sequence. He will not wake up. Heck, I don't think he is even there. I believe when the wind blows, that's when he turns to ash, like everyone else. But because we've got everyone, because we've got to the time of forgiveness, he is alive. And he can continue on with his life. And the Rune of Punishment remains dormant as long as he is alive. Congratulations, you have cleared the game. You can now save the cleared data here. We have now got a clear save file. What that does is that transfers over everything you had in your bag. It transfers over your potch amount, and that's pretty much it. I don't believe it transfers over special armor sets, and it doesn't transfer over anything that you have equipped on your main character, or snow, if I remember correctly, including runes. But that, from that you can go through the game and use the fortune rune that you got on at the end of the last part, at the end of the last area, and make your way up to a level 99 party if you wish. And go through the game again. To be honest, I don't think it's worth it. It doesn't get going through the game again doesn't give you anything special. It doesn't give you anything new. It just lets you go through the game again, just with more powerful equipment, because you had that at the end of the last time you played through. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest it. If you're going to play through this game, play through it properly. Go from beginning to end. You don't need a lot, and it's much more interesting, much more challenging on a very simple game. But this is Suikoden 4, this is the end. Next time, something different. Maybe I'll see you there. Until then, have a wonderful day. Have lots of fun. Goodbye.